What's the most dangerous threat to aging well? Loneliness, a silent epidemic affecting millions of seniors worldwide, yet rarely discussed openly. Like an unwelcome shadow that grows longer with each passing year, it can drain the color from otherwise healthy lives. Have you ever sat by your window, watching others connect, and wondered where your own connections went? In the next few minutes, I'll share 8 specific actions that can transform your experience of aging alone. These practical, proven strategies have helped thousands of seniors rediscover joy, purpose, and meaningful connection. They've rebuilt community, even when they believed those possibilities were behind them forever. Have you ever walked into your home after everyone has left and truly felt the silence? Not just heard it, but felt it weighing on you? That moment when the door closes and there's no one to talk to, no one asking about your day, no reason to prepare dinner for 2 instead of 1. For many older adults, this isn't just a temporary feeling, it becomes their daily reality. When the house falls silent permanently, your brain registers this social disconnection as a threat. Scientists at UCLA discovered that the same brain regions that activate during physical pain also light up when you experience social exclusion. Your brain literally processes the absence of human connection as physical harm, triggering a cascade of stress responses that affect your entire body. Imagine Maria, 72, who describes the silence in her home as a presence that follows me from room to room. Or James, 81, who keeps the television on all day, not to watch it but to hear voices. These everyday experiences reflect what researchers have found. Prolonged isolation creates measurable physical effects. When chronically lonely, your body overproduces stress hormones like cortisol, weakening your immune system, increasing inflammation, and potentially accelerating cognitive decline. Yet few doctors screen for this condition during routine checkups. The transition happens gradually. First, daily routines built around others disappear. Morning conversations over coffee, shared meals, discussing what show to watch in the evening. Without these anchoring interactions, the sense of purpose often fades too. I used to be somebody's wife, somebody's mother who was needed every day, explains one 78-year-old widow. Now I can go entire days without speaking to another human being. Sometimes I wonder if I'd even be missed if something happened to me. This sentiment reflects a profound identity crisis many seniors experience, feeling their life story has concluded while they're still alive. This situation creates a dangerous self-reinforcing cycle. The longer someone remains isolated, the more their social skills deteriorate. Simple conversations start feeling awkward. Making eye contact becomes uncomfortable. Reaching out to old friends or making new ones triggers anxiety, rather than anticipation. Each failed attempt at connection makes the next one harder. The COVID-19 pandemic dramatically worsened this situation. Even previously social seniors found themselves cut off from their usual activities. Many developed isolation habits that persisted long after restrictions lifted. An AARP survey found 67% of older adults reported being more hesitant to engage socially post-pandemic than before. In response to chronic isolation, your brain enters a state of heightened vigilance, constantly scanning for social threats and opportunities. This hypervigilance exhausts mental resources and often leads to rumination, where you replay past interactions or worry about future ones. Your brain shifts into an emergency mode, never designed for continuous operation. The good news? Understanding these brain mechanisms is the first crucial step toward breaking the cycle. Recognizing these feelings as biological responses, rather than character flaws, makes it easier to approach them with compassion instead of judgment. Your brain's protective mechanisms can be redirected through specific daily practices that gradually reset your nervous system. Simple actions make a significant difference. Even brief social interactions, like a 5-minute conversation with a cashier or neighbor, help recalibrate your social nervous system. These small moments of connection signal to your brain that you're not alone, gradually lowering stress hormones and reducing the sense of threat. Those brief social interactions are crucial first steps, but they barely scratch the surface of what's happening inside you during this transition. Think about it. Who are you now that the roles that defined your daily existence for decades have suddenly vanished? This question strikes at the core of why so many seniors struggle with isolation. Remember when your days were structured around being someone's parent, partner, or professional? Your mornings began with responsibilities to others, preparing breakfast for the family, rushing to meetings, or organizing household schedules. Your decision, from the smallest daily choices to major life changes, are filtered through the lens of your responsibilities to others. Even your sense of accomplishment came from how well you fulfilled these roles. Then suddenly, the house falls silent. The office doesn't call. Your identity, the very framework you use to understand yourself in relation to the world, seems to evaporate. You find yourself missing who you were when those people needed you. The transformation is dramatic. Retirement often brings a substantial reduction in social connections within the first year. This represents the collapse of an entire social ecosystem that validated your existence and purpose for decades. Without these external anchors, many seniors find themselves adrift, unsure of who they are beyond the titles they once carried. This identity vacuum can trigger a cascade of serious health consequences. When your sense of self crumbles, depression often follows. Your motivation to care for your physical health may diminish. Even your cognitive function can suffer without the stimulation and purpose that structured your days for so long. Take Margaret, for example. After retiring from a 40-year teaching career, she initially felt completely lost. I'd been Mrs. Peterson, the math teacher, for so long. I hardly knew who Margaret was anymore, she recalls. 6 months into retirement, she rediscovered her teenage passion for watercolor painting, something she'd abandoned when career and family demanded her attention. Today, she teaches a weekly art class at her community center. How do you respond to this transition? What happens when the roles that defined you change or disappear? Many seniors cling to outdated roles, continuing to parent their adult children as though they were still teenagers, or defining themselves exclusively through past identities. While understandable, this approach prevents them from adapting to their new reality. The healthier path forward is to view this transition as an opportunity for reinvention. This doesn't mean erasing your past or diminishing its importance. Rather, it means expanding your self-concept to include new possibilities that weren't available when your time and energy were consumed by other responsibilities. Who are you now? What sparks joy in you? These questions might seem simple, but many seniors haven't considered them seriously since early adulthood. Now is the time to rediscover them. Seniors who successfully navigate this identity transformation often report greater life satisfaction than they experienced during middle age. Without the pressure to meet others' expectations, many find a new freedom in exploring interests purely for enjoyment rather than achievement. This journey begins with simple daily reflection. Separate your intrinsic worth from the roles you once played. Ask yourself, what qualities do you value about yourself that have nothing to do with being someone's parent, partner, or colleague? What strengths have you demonstrated throughout your life that transcend any particular role? From this foundation, you can begin exploring activities that bring you genuine pleasure. The goal isn't to replace your former identity with a new one that's equally rigid. Instead, think of this as an expansion, an opportunity to embrace aspects of yourself that have always been present, but perhaps underdeveloped due to other demands. With your identity now taking shape on your own terms, you're ready to face what many consider the most intimidating challenge of aging: alone, making new connections when you haven't had to do it in decades. Think back to when you last walked into a room of strangers with the explicit purpose of making a new friend. For most people in their 70s, that skill hasn't been exercised since middle age, when work and family naturally provided social opportunities. This social muscle weakness creates a genuine barrier. Many seniors tell me they feel almost teenage-level awkwardness when trying to strike up conversations with potential new friends. The anxiety about reaching out is completely normal when these skills haven't been used regularly. What makes this particularly important is the striking research showing that maintaining just 3 close social connections can add up to 7 years to your life expectancy. Yet the reality is that many seniors fall below this critical threshold. The digital landscape has transformed how we connect. While technology might initially seem daunting, it holds surprising emotional benefits. Many seniors discover that once they master basic platforms, they find unexpected joy in seeing grandchildren's faces during video calls or reconnecting with old friends across distances. This digital bridge can actually strengthen bonds rather than create barriers. Many seniors I work with initially resist forming new relationships because they believe they have nothing valuable to offer. They see younger people as more interesting or relevant, but your life experience is actually like a treasure chest, filled with stories, wisdom, and perspective that others seek. The insights you've gained throughout your life represent invaluable knowledge. You just need to recognize this wealth yourself first. When rebuilding your social circle, avoid trying to recreate exact replicas of past relations. Your college roommate, work colleague, or neighbor of 30 years formed connections with you during different life circumstances. Instead, focus on creating different types of connections that align with your current lifestyle and needs. Interestingly, research shows that interest-based connections often prove more meaningful than age-based ones. Consider groups organized around activities you genuinely enjoy. Try a pottery class, join a hiking group, or volunteer at a museum where your knowledge is valued. Seniors who pursue such interest-based activities consistently report more satisfying relationships than those limiting themselves to age-segregated activities. Structured activities provide the perfect low-pressure environment for connection. When you're engaged in discussing a book or learning watercolor painting, the focus shifts away from potentially awkward introductions. This removes much of the pressure that makes social interaction daunting after years of established routines. The key to transforming these casual interactions into meaningful connections lies in consistency. Even brief, weekly encounters at the same chess club, walking group, or community garden gradually build into significant relationships. These repeated interactions create familiarity and shared experience that form the foundation of friendship. Remember that meaningful connections don't always look like traditional friendships. Your relationship with a regular barista who remembers your order, conversations with the same checkout clerk each week, or participating in an online forum about your favorite hobby, all contribute to your social well-being. These interactions might seem minor, but collectively they create a tapestry of connection that supports your mental and emotional health. Those small social interactions create a valuable tapestry of connection. But have you ever considered that your home environment might be quietly amplifying feelings of loneliness? The very spaces where you've built your life could actually be working against your mental health in ways you've never recognized. Research shows that unchanged living spaces can increase depression by up to 40% in seniors, a startling figure that highlights how powerful our physical surroundings truly are. Think about it. That 4-bedroom house that once bustled with family activity now consists mostly of empty rooms, serving as daily reminders of absence rather than possibility. These spaces speak to you, reinforcing isolation with every encounter. Each time you walk past your child's untouched bedroom or dining room table set for one, your brain processes these as cues of loss. Clutter and unused spaces generate genuine psychological stress. Those boxes of memorabilia, the wall of family photos from decades past, unused craft supplies, they're anchors tethering you to periods of life that no longer exist. Environmental psychology research reveals these physical reminders trigger stress hormones and impair cognitive function. When your space constantly reminds you of what's been lost, your brain remains in a persistent state of distress, like trying to heal while repeatedly reopening a wound. Fortunately, this connection works both ways. Thoughtful modifications can significantly improve your outlook. After my husband passed, I couldn't bear to change anything, shares Margaret, 72. But converting his workshop into my painting studio actually helped me feel closer to him. I'm creating something new in a space where he created, and that connection feels right. The most effective approach isn't necessarily downsizing, but what psychologists call right-sizing, creating spaces that support who you are now. This might mean converting that formal dining room into an art studio, or transforming an empty bedroom into a reading sanctuary. Simple changes yield remarkable results. Rearranging furniture to face windows increases exposure to natural light, reducing depression symptoms. Repurposing a corner with comfortable seating and supplies for a hobby creates visual cues that prompt new behaviors and routines, helping your brain establish new patterns. Many resist these changes, feeling they somehow dishonor associated memories. But honoring the past doesn't require preserving it unchanged. The most meaningful tribute might be creating a home that helps you live fully in the present, while carrying forward treasured elements of your past. Studies show seniors whose living spaces support their current lifestyle report better mental health outcomes. This improvement occurs because an environment designed for present needs creates alignment between how you live and where you live. reducing mental energy spent navigating unsuitable spaces. To begin, follow these steps. Start with a single-room transformation, perhaps that spare bedroom used for storage. Ask what activities would energize you if you had dedicated space. Sort through possessions, deciding what to keep, donate, or discard. Reimagine the space based on current interests and needs. The transformation process itself becomes therapeutic. The act of sorting, deciding, and reimagining requires making active choices about what matters now. This exercise shifts focus from what's been lost to what you're creating, reinforcing your agency in shaping this chapter. Many seniors find that reclaiming their space becomes a powerful metaphor for reclaiming their sense of purpose. We've come to the end of our journey together, but for you, this is just the beginning. Growing older alone doesn't have to be the end. It can be a new beginning, an opportunity to rediscover yourself and prioritize your own happiness. The strategies we've explored are pathways to a rich, meaningful life, centered around you. This is your time to explore postponed interests, create energizing spaces, and form connections that bring genuine joy. Remember, being alone and being lonely are entirely different experiences. Your later years can be your most peaceful and fulfilling. Take that first small step today, transforming solitude into an opportunity for profound personal growth. The choice is yours.